Hey, how's it going and welcome back to the Guns YouTube channel. In today's video, I managed to drop 26 kills on Battle Royale solos, but I managed to get shadow banned. I should have got 29 kills, but I'll get kicked out of the game because I got spam reported. So I've been shadow banned this whole past week. I've got a few videos coming up on my second account, so keep an eye out for that. But generally, I'm going to let the gameplay play out in the back of how I managed to get 26 kills. If you want me to do a breakdown of this gameplay, to slow it down and just sort of give you guys an idea of what I was thinking and what I'm doing in order to drop the higher kills, let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do that. But generally the point of this video is, as you can tell from the thumbnail, is Warzone needs to go back to basics. So as I was being shadow banned this week and I was a bit frustrated, I was thinking to myself, you know, what does Warzone need to do to improve? Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying this current iteration of Warzone. It's much better than Warzone 2. I mean, that game was shit. I mean, the only thing that kind of saved Warzone 2 was Vondel, in my opinion. But I was just starting to think, you know, we all play this game. We all want the game to improve and get better. So what is it they need to do? And generally, in a nutshell, they need to go back to basics. And I think everyone would appreciate that. So I've got a list here of 12 things I want to talk about of how Warzone can improve, and you can let me know in the comments below if you disagree or agree with any of the points I'm making. So I think the first one is, you know, it ties into me being shadow banned, is they just need to improve the anti-cheat and the spam reporting system. So with the anti-cheat, they just need to introduce a kernel level system. So what I mean by kernel level system is you install a third-party program onto your console PC, so every time you run the game, that program just runs a check of your device to make sure you're not running any software or any cheat software. And then if you are, obviously it'll just instantly ban you, and then obviously just improve the spam reporting system. If you introduce a kernel level system, you probably don't even need a reporting system, to be honest with you, because the kernel level system should pick up all the cheats anyway. So I think that solves that issue. It's just frustrating that we haven't got that. I mean, there's smaller games and smaller developers that have a kernel level system. Activision is a multi-billion-pound company. They can afford to have that, you know, buy that system and run it. It's just, and I don't think anyone would complain. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole Activision being cheapskates topic, but the second point, just keep it simple, going back to basics. So there's a few points under going back to basics I want to run through. I think the first one being the building design. Like, as I said at the start of the video, I quite enjoyed the big map, but the one thing I do sometimes find a bit frustrating is the building design can be really confusing. So when you're trying to chase players down, if you get into gunfights and they run into a building, sometimes it's just the buildings are so complex. There's like 10 different doors, 10 different rooms they can run into to hide. It just gets really annoying. Whereas what I thought Verdansk done really well was they had main POIs like stadium, prison, superstore, and then the buildings around those main POIs were really simple and easy to learn. A lot of people said, oh, all they did was copy and paste buildings. I didn't mind that, because that enabled you to learn the building layout really quickly. And then when you're pushing someone in one of them buildings, you generally knew where they were going to be pre-aiming and camping. Whereas a lot of these buildings, they can be hiding in any of these rooms, and it's just, sometimes when you die to people camping in these buildings, it just feels like the only way you could have killed them was literally ADS walking through every single room to find them, which slows the game down and makes it a bit unfun. So that's my first point. Just sort of have the main POIs and then make the building layouts around them just much more basic. And then the second one is just the general loot bloat. So another thing I really enjoyed about Verdansk was it was just the loot system. The amount of loot you could pick up was just really simple. You know, obviously you got your guns, your plates, and then the only other things that you could really pick up were your kill streaks, your munitions box, armor box, dead silence, and stopping power, which are bullshit. But that's, you know, it's still only like 4 or 5 things. Trophy system, right? Whereas now there's just a load of shit. Like your screen comes visual clutter. You got like perks, vest, all these different types of you know, you got obviously what are they called? You got like EMP system and just all sorts. I can't reel them all out off the top of my head, but there is a lot of shit you can loot. And I'd rather they just go back to basics and keep it simple. It just gets confusing for new players as well. You know, the thing that made Warzone so fun was land, get your guns, crack on. Whereas now it just feels you get involved in looting, and also with the loot as well, it's on the shelves, it's on the floor. Just put all the loot back in boxes. I don't want to run into a building and be looking at a shelf. I want to run to a building, open a box, get my shit out of it and go. Whereas now you've got bags, boxes, tills. Like it's just yeah, a lot of visual clutter. And then the third point is just it's way too easy to regain. And I think the reason why they've done this is because they've reduced the player count to 100. So I think they're a bit worried about the lobbies dying out too quick. So they've introduced, you've got gulag tokens, redeploy tokens, redeploy flares. Sometimes you get a second chance in the gulag. The game just sometimes feels like it's a bit more like Resurgence than it is Battle Royale. And I think what people really enjoyed about the Battle Royale experience in Verdansk was it had 150 players. So you had 50 more players from the start anyway. So it played out quite hectic from the start. And then because your life was so valuable, it was much harder to regain. The bid game came a bit more intense and a bit more slower paced and strategic and playing power positions. Whereas this, especially in the squad-based game modes, if you die, who gives a fuck? Just your mate can pop a redeploy flare and you're straight back in the game. It just feels a bit cheesy, especially when you're fighting another team of 4, right? You can get 2 of their players down and out the game. You feel like, our team's going to win this scumfight against this team. They either had a redeploy token or they pop a redeploy flare. And because the audio is so shit, they land back in and kill you. It's just like, how was that fucking fair? You've outplayed that team. You've played better than them. You've outpositioned them. And then just because they had some cheesy redeploy flare, they've managed to win that gunfight. It just get a bit frustrating. So I think all they need to do to fix this issue is increase the player count to 125, 150. I'd like it to be 150. The games would be so fun if there was 150. It'd be pure chaos in the start to start a bit of the mid game as well, and then it would sort of slow down. And then just get rid of all the ways you can regain. And then just increase have a few more buy stations on the map. But that would make the game, the Battle Royale experience, so sick. But let me know what you think down below. There's going to be people that actually really enjoy the amount of times you can regain so easily. But each their own. I think if you like regaining a lot and you're dying a lot, Resurgence is probably more your game mode than Battle Royale. And then another thing, just the weapon attachments. Why is there so many fucking weapon attachments? Like, literally... You only need like for a muzzle, like 10 attachments, like a couple of suppressors and a couple of muzzles that reduce your recoil, and you're good. There's just so much shit. There's so much shit you can unlock. Why? I don't get it. Just go back to simple weapon attachments. 5 weapon attachments and have like 10 or so for each of them. Simple as that. I'd rather they spend less time building 100 attachments for a gun and actually put more guns in the game. Use the developers' time to make more guns rather than 99 useless fucking attachments where the whole community uses 2 of them, like a suppressor or a Casus brake or a Jack BFB. The rest of them are just shit. No one uses them, so don't put them in the game. Third point is tac sprint slide cancel. So this one has causes a lot of controversy. I quite liked the mechanic of the slide cancel resetting your tac sprint. That's because I'm quite an aggressive player. I find sometimes because the slide cancel don't reset your tac sprint, when you push a player, and by the time you've got there, you've burnt through your tac sprint. Let's say I run into a building, right? And I've burnt my tac sprint running into that building. And as I run into that building, there's an absolute there's a camper there, and they catch me off guard, right? I then want to run away, but I've already burnt my attack sprint, and they've got their full allocation of attack sprint because they've just been crouch walking, just sat there in the building doing nothing, right? It just makes it frustrating that they get the kill on me because they've been playing slow and they've managed to get the attack sprint off, right? And I've got no attack sprint left. Whereas before on Verdansk, I could hit a slide cancel and get my and refresh my attack sprint and get away. So I think the only way to really get around this issue is either they have slide cancel reset attack sprint again, which I think they should do, or give everyone unlimited attack sprint. And if they do that, if they give everyone unlimited attack sprint, right, they should make your ADS times when you're in attack sprint longer. So if when you're like now, when I'm running and my gun's in the air, if you got unlimited attack sprint, make the sprint to fire time longer. That's the disadvantage of having unlimited attack sprint. But when you slide, make it so you can ADS it instantly. I think that's just the happy balance. But let me know what you think of how they can balance attack sprint and slide cancelling. I think just keep it simple and just bring back slide cancelling, reset and attack sprint, job done. Because the players that play slow are never going to notice anyway because they're never slide cancelling. It's the aggressive players that feel the don't really get the benefit of it. So the players that generally camp anyway are not going to notice a difference because they never run around anyway. So just give the aggressive players the ability to reset their attack sprint and everyone's happy. Fourth is just a playlist. Right now it's okay because you've got your big map and you've got Fortune's Keep. But I think what pisses everyone off is before Fortune's Keep, everyone likes Vondel, right? From the polls I see on Twitter, not many people like Ashika Island, but they insist on putting the shit maps in the rotation. Like, listen to your player base and listen, and actually, what's the point running a poll on Twitter? Just think, oh, everyone prefers Vondel. Oh, fuck it, we'll make Ashika Island in the rotation. Just get rid of it. Right, no one's gonna miss it. It's just simple things. I feel like the developers just like. They have this thing. I've got this image in my head where they have this meeting. There's a whiteboard up, and the title is "Let's fix what isn't broke." Everyone likes Vondel. No, hardly anyone likes Ashika Island, and they just think, "Fuck it, let's just put Ashika Island in for the bans." Why? Fifth is just the audio. So, again, I'm one of them people. I sound like I'm just literally saying, Verdansk was great. Verdansk was good. I really enjoyed Warzone 1. There was a lot of good things about Warzone 1, but there were a few things that were shit. But the one thing I actually didn't think there was an issue was the audio. I genuinely thought the audio, 99% of the time on Warzone 1 was really good. Like, I could actually pinpoint where people were, if they were above or below me, if they were to the left or right of me. The audio in this game is really inconsistent. Like, sometimes it can be really good. I can be like, yeah, he's on my right. I know exactly where he is. I'm full sending him. Then sometimes I'll be in the middle of a gunfight and I'll just get third partied and look at the kill cam. He was literally on my ass crack. Like, come on. It just makes it so inconsistent. And I know they've said in their patch notes they're improving it. I just think Infinity Ward have just fucked the audio in this game engine from the start, and it's never going to be as good as it needs to be. Generally, if you run the flex perk, it's okay, but I think they just need to now just get rid of that flex perk and just make it so everyone has it from the start. Don't have it as a perk. It's just one of them things everyone has, and then it will enable you to run something else in perk slot 4. I think that's just a fix for that. Unfortunately, I don't think the audio is going to be fixed now until the next Warzone. I think is it Sledgehammer that I do in the next Warzone. So it is what it is. Unfortunately for that. Next one is vehicles. Yet again, fixing what isn't broke. The vehicles. Sorry, burping there. The vehicles were perfectly fine on Warzone 1. No one ever complained about the vehicles. Like, I just don't understand what they were thinking when they made Warzone 2. No one's complaining about vehicles. I know what we'll do. We'll change it. So the vehicles, yet again, they just feel clunky. And why the fuck do they have a gas tank? Like, who thought players want to run around? Oh, you know what's really fun? I need to go to a gas station. No one fucking cares. Just let us drive the fucking car and go from point A to point B without having to worry about I need to go to the fucking Shell petrol station. No one gives a fuck. So hopefully in the next iteration of Warzone, they just make the vehicles just so, you know, easy to drive again. Like the helicopters, they're so clunky. No one ever complained about the helicopters in Warzone 1. Just make them so they, you know, they're smooth and they get from point A to point B really quick. Number 7 is ground loot, but to be honest with you, the ground loot is much improved in season 2. So the ground loot in season 1 was shit. Like the guns had like 30 round mags and shit ton of recoil. So by the time you'd hit half your shots, you'd barely taken a play off. Whereas now I've noticed a lot of the ground loot has like 50 round mags. The recoil's a bit better on them, and you know the ground loot should be in a position where loadout guns are still better, but if you haven't got your loadout guns, you can still, if you're a good player, you can somewhat compete. And I think it's in a good spot. I think it can still be improved just a little bit, but generally, that, you know, point 7 was a ground loot, and it seems like they've improved that in seasons 2. So not much else to say on that. Number 8, contracts. Yet again, fixing what isn't broke. Scavenger contract in season 2. Why is it they spawn so far away from each other when you pick up a scav? The whole point of a scav contract is you land the scav contracts in hot drop areas or high risk, high reward. You land the scav contracts contested normally. You get the scav contract, and you're able to quickly get your loadout and get a UAV up. But the counterplay is if you land, not counterplay, but the risk there is you're landing in a hot drop area. It's going to be contested. You know, you can die straight away. But now it defeats the whole purpose. You land and they spawn so far away from each other, you're better off not even doing it. You're better off just landing and looting and get your loadout money that way. Yet again, who the fuck ever complained about a scav contract? Not a single person, for what I can tell. Stop fixing what isn't broke. And then like the recon contract, yet again, Warzone 1, pick up a recon contract, you go there, you pop it, job done. Now, like, you have to go there, you have to go through some stupid fucking animation where you start typing something on a keyboard. Why? Why are you adding shit to the game no one asked for? Just make the contract simple again. Fucking hell. 9, strongholds. Waste of fucking time. Just get them out of the game. Simple as that. You know. Strongholds and black sites just incentivizes people to camp. Why? You know, it just gives someone an ungodly power position in the middle of the map. Just fucking get rid of it. Right? You're saying to a team, do this. If your black site's in the middle of the circle, you're pretty much guaranteed to win for what? For doing fuck all, basically, right? And they just sit there the whole game. Just get rid of it. Pointless kill streaks. Yet again, cluster mine. Who the hell invented that cluster mine? Like, it's just so frustrating to fight. You run into a building, there's like 1,000 mines everywhere. Just get rid of it. It's fucking shit. The bomb drone, fucking shit. The Guardian kill streak, shit. Keep the kill streak simple, man. 11, the UI. I'm trying to go through this quickly because the video is about to end. The UI is fucking shit. We all know that. And then the last one, the UAV is costing £6,000. Why? Just slows down the pace of the game yet again. I'm about to get spam reported here and get kicked out of the game. As you can tell, I'm on to 26 kills. I hope you liked the video, and let me know what you thought about the video and what, if you disagree, agree with any of the comments I made. And I'll see you in the next one.